In the headlines, fuel queues complicate economic activities in Lagos as scarcity eases in Abuja. 6 months after the abduction, 26 Niger women still in captivity awaiting ransom payment. Governor Fintiri directs implementation of 70,000 naira minimum wage from August. On the foreign scene, Kenya government plans to reinstate some taxes to raise $1.2 billion. Good evening and welcome to the news update on Trust Television. I am Aisha Salihu. The news in detail. As the ongoing fuel scarcity continues to persist across the nation, frustration is gradually setting in as citizens grapple with uncertainty and likely tension. In Lagos State, many are finding themselves stuck in long, non-moving queues for hours, desperately trying to purchase fuel as daily routines have been disrupted, with citizens voicing their concerns. The report.
Amid the ongoing fuel scarcity crisis, citizens are expressing their frustration as the situation worsens with each passing day. In Lagos, distressed individuals have been sharing their experiences, especially those caught up in non-moving queues for hours, desperately trying to purchase fuel. With the impacts being felt nationwide, many are calling for immediate government intervention to resolve the crisis.
I've been here now for almost like 4 or 5 hours now. The line is not even moving. It's kind of frustrating. At least we have things to do, use our time to do, and we are here struggling to get for something that we have in our country. Do we have to be struggling for things like this? It's totally kind of like crazy. So what do I do now? I've been here. I need to get fuel. I need to get moving. Without fuel, my car cannot move. So it is what it is. So
an item that is supposed to be sold for 5 naira, because of the impact of transportation on it, you find that it will now be going for 10 naira. It's affecting everybody, both the rich and the poor. But the difference is that the rich have more of the naira in their pockets compared to the poor. So if they look at it from the angle of fuel price reduced, it will cut across every damn thing as far as human is concerned. Because to anything, transportation is key.
For these kind of things, government can return the subsidy back to us. So because of all these kind of these things, since 7 o'clock, I don't enter here. I won't buy fuel. I never see fuel buy. Maybe to close to that place and I say, if you sell fuel again, we better can do. I have to go back to home back.
We work at the airport as an airport taxi driver at the international airport, and most people don't want to pay the fare in adjustment to the reality. So we have to maintain a balance between how we get fuel and what we charge our various passengers, and it's not really encouraging because virtually all our income is being exhausted on getting fuel. So it is what it is. What do we have to do? We just have to adjust to the new norm.
We have sufficient fuel. There will be no reason for queuing for hours since morning. Early morning, 7 o'clock, we have been here. No fuel to get. You can see, if you go down there, you see another queue coming facing here. Another one from that street there. Another one from our lane here. So we don't have sufficient. You can see all these NPC now. They don't sell. All the filling stations, they don't sell.
The Lagos State NLC chairperson, Fumi Sesi, who raised concerns over the ongoing fuel scarcity that has gripped not just Lagos State, but the entire country, emphasized the need for the government to take drastic measures to address the situation, which has disrupted the daily lives of millions.
This is a disgraceful act from our leaders. If it is not a disgraceful act, how do they explain that out of the oil producing countries, it is only Nigeria that does not have a functional refinery at this moment. We have 4 refineries, and those 4 cannot even produce, and they continue to pay salaries of these workers to the tune of trillions of naira every year, and they continue to budget money, this monetary budget, to revamp our refinery is enough to build entirely a new and modern refinery for this country.
Citizens are therefore calling for urgent action, stressing that the issue must be dealt with quickly to alleviate the suffering of the masses. Aishat Abdullah, Trust TV Lagos.
Similarly, fuel scarcity continues to grip Abuja as many fueling stations remain closed, with a few that are operational selling petrol for as high as 700 naira per litre. Petroleum marketers cite transportation logistics as the cause of the supply disruption, further worsened by recent hunger protests. Trust TV's Neil Samson takes to the streets of Abuja to bring us an update on the ongoing fuel scarcity.
In the streets of Abuja, it is surprising to find major filling stations that have been closed or overwhelmed by long queues now open with significantly fewer or no queues at all. We spoke with private car owners and motorists who shared their experiences and provided updates on the current fuel situation. I bought a litre for 700 naira today. There is no fuel scarcity. Last week, the fuel scarcity was much, but thank God, there is now fuel.
I never expect to come here and even see the gates widely open. No cars, nothing. So it's actually reducing.
Queue they reduce, but the price they don't go high. Before they are selling it 670, 680. There's now they increase it to 700 naira. That's how they buy now. And you go follow queue again. The queue through now, it don't reduce more. Before the protest, we buy 680, 685. But for now, they don't increase it to 700 naira.
2 days ago, and we know the entire police station now black market with the buy them because of the queue too much. But now it don't they reduce.
Efforts to reach members of the Independent Petroleum Marketers Association of Nigeria, IPMAN, for further insight have been unsuccessful. Meanwhile, residents of the FCT are showing signs of relief, with many hopeful that the situation will continue to improve. Well, Samson, Trust TV News, Abuja.
And to security matters, at least 26 women, including those who were kidnapped with pregnancy from Alawa community in Shiroro local government area of Niger State since February this year, have remained in captivity due to the inability of their relatives to raise money to pay the ransom demanded by their captors. This is even as residents are expressing fear of imminent hunger as their community has now been occupied by terrorists who are also growing crops on their farmlands. Trust TV's Abubakar Akote has more.
Alawa and other communities that have now been deserted due to incessant attacks by terrorists and bandits are agrarian communities in Shiro local government area of Niger State. The communities largely produce yam, beans, guinea corn, millet, and cocoyam in commercial quantities. But activities of terrorists and bandits no longer allow the residents to engage in farming, forcing them to resort to artisanal mining. This followed the withdrawal of soldiers in April this year.
I graduated from College of Health Sciences and Technologies at Zamfara State. And after I graduated, I was issued a license by the PCN, in which I came into my community, Alawa, and runs a chemist where I sell drugs. And in selling of those drugs, I normally earn not less than 10,000 a day, sometimes 15,000, up to 20,000. But we were being displaced by terrorists and bandits from Alawa community, in which I'm now left with mining here. Despite all the energy I'm pushing into the mining, the highest thing I get in a day is not more than 2,000, 1,500 and 1,000 a day.
I really wanted to speak on my mothers, my sisters who were being attacked along Pandogari to Alawa Road. That was 2 months before we were displaced. This is exactly 7 months now. They are still in the captivity of those Boko Haram. and it is an off record, no matter how we try to let the Niger State government knows that our women are still with those people. They ask us to pay a huge amount of ransom that we cannot even afford. In our life, we have never even witnessed such an amount, because they said each and every single woman we should pay five motorcycles. And the kind of motorcycle they were asking of is the motorcycle that costs almost 2 million naira, and which we cannot even afford it. And majority of them are even pregnant, and they are there now with them. Majority of them even held babies in their hands.
I have written a report and I have submitted to the government necessary offices that are supposed to submit the report. I have given it to them, and if they wish for me to bring an acknowledgement later, I can bring it.
Terrorists are now said to have occupied the community, growing crops, while the farmers in Mina, Gwada, Kuta, Erina, and Pondogori are struggling to feed and pay house rents. The residents call on authorities to quickly dislodge the terrorists and bandits to enable them return home and engage in farming activities before the rainy season ends. Abubakar Akote, Trust TV News, Mina.
Still on security matters, bandits on Sunday murdered one Ahmadu Suru and severely wounded one other person at Shirgi community in Batsari local government area of Katsina State. The assailants were wielding dangerous weapons, also abducted several others, while an unspecified number of domestic animals were rustled during the attack. According to some residents, the bandits successfully attacked Shirgi community following the activities of informants who have been given credible information about the community to the bandits. Some residents commended the divisional police officer in Batsari for his prompt response during the attack, which prevented the loss of more lives. On Monday morning, about 6 abductees, including women and some elderly people, escaped and returned to Shirgi community unhurt. They called on the government to deploy more security personnel to the area. Batsari is among the frontline local government areas in Katsina State, suffering from incessant bandit attacks that have resulted to killings and abductions for ransom over a decade. The corpse of the police officer who was abducted on Wednesday around Kampani community in Bashar district of Wase local government area of Plateau State has been found in a bush by soldiers in the area. The slain police officer and a soldier were kidnapped around Kampani while on their way from Zurak community, but the soldier escaped the attack. Sources from Wase town confirmed the latest development, saying the lifeless body of the security personnel was discovered in the nearby bush of Bangalala on Sunday when soldiers mobilized the Bangalala community in Wase, which shares border with Taraba State, to fight bandits terrorizing the axis. The spokesman of the State Police Command, DSP Alabo Alfred, is yet to react to the development at the time of filing this report. In recent times, various communities in Wase local government area have been attacked by gunmen suspected to be bandits who have been operating in the area for years, according to locals. The Nigerian Army says it has deployed troops in several northern states of the Federation to protect farmers. A statement by the Director, Defense Media Operations, Major General Edward Buba, said the deployment was made particularly in the north, west and north central states. According to him, the move has since enabled several farmers access to farms for a hitch-free planting season towards a bumper harvest. This is as the country battles food shortages, which have worsened the food inflation put at over 40% by the National Bureau of Statistics. Nigeria's inflation figure reached a new high, hitting 34.19% in June 2024, before declining to 33.40% in July, according to the data from NBS Consumer Price Index. The President General of EU Kingdom, Arthur Ekpekpo, who was earlier declared wanted, has been reportedly arrested by men in military uniform at an undisclosed location in the Sapele area of Sapele local government area of Delta State. According to sources within the community, Chief Belvis Adobo and Dennis Akubaye, two other leaders associated with the Okwama Vanguard, were also apprehended on Monday morning by armed men in plain clothes at various locations in Ugeli. An Okwama leader who craved anonymity said that the arrests may be connected to the March incident that led to the death of 17 military personnel. He, however, expressed confusion over why their leaders were being targeted by officials suspected to be operatives of the Department of State Services. He said the arrests come at a time when peace is gradually returning to the troubled community as the Delta State government works on resettling displaced residents. Despite the tension, no official statement has been issued by security agencies. Away from security matters, a 5-man panel of the Supreme Court has reserved judgment in the Kogi and Bayelsa states governorship election appeals filed by Murtala Ajaka of the Social Democratic Party and Timipre Silva of the All Progressives Congress. Both Ajaka and Silva challenged the declarations made by the Independent National Electoral Commission on the outcome of the 2023 governorship elections in their respective states. It would be recalled that Ajaka had appealed the judgment of a 3-member tribunal that affirmed the election of Ahmed Usman Ododo of APC as governor of Kogi State before approaching the appeal court, which affirmed the tribunal judgment. On his part, Sylvia in May expressed dissatisfaction with the result of the governorship election in a statement signed by his special assistant on media and public affairs, Julius Bokoru. However, in July, the Court of Appeal, Abuja, dismissed the appeal to challenge the judgment of the Bayelsa State Governorship Election Petition Tribunal. But on Monday, the Supreme Court reserved judgment in both appeals. The Independent National Electoral Commission says it would begin the distribution of permanent voter cards to newly registered voters on Thursday ahead of the governorship elections in Edo State. In a statement on its X handle on Monday, the Commission shared the list of the centers where the cards would be distributed. It said from August 22 to August 26, registered voters could pick up their cards at any of the 192 wards in Edo State from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. daily, including weekends. According to the Commission, after this period, the collection would move to INEC's local government offices across the state, where voters can collect their PVCs from August 28 to September 8, 2024. The Edo governorship election is scheduled to be held on September 21, 2024. A total of 184,438 voters were registered during the recently concluded continuous voters registration in Edo State. The figure included 119,206 new registrations, 8,847 interstate transfers, and 46,171 intrastate transfers. You're watching the news update on Trust Television. Still ahead. Osun communities demand basic amenities to improve standard of living. We'll bring you more news on return. Do stay with us.
This is Trust TV, documenting the Nigerian story.
Welcome back. Let's have another look at some of our top stories. Fuel queues complicate economic activities in Lagos as scarcity eases in Abuja. 6 months after the abduction, 26 Niger women still in captivity awaiting ransom payments. And to more stories. The Academic Staff Union of Universities has informed the federal government of its plans to embark on a nationwide strike by placing the government on a 21-day notice. Sources within the National Executive Council of ASU, who confirmed the development in Abuja on Monday, said the notice was issued at the end of the NEC meeting, which was held at the University of Ibadan, with a copy expected to be transmitted to the Federal Ministries of Labor and Education. It would be recalled that ASU had threatened to embark on strike over the non-implementation of agreements reached with the federal government. On June 26, the Minister of Education, Professor Tahir Maman, invited the union to a meeting to deliberate on the lingering issues affecting universities and to avert the planned strike. The national president of ASU, Professor Emmanuel Oshodeke, who spoke on the outcome of the meeting, said the agreements reached with the federal government had not been implemented. The ASU president said some of the demands included the non-implementation of the 2009 renegotiated agreements. Rural dwellers in Osun State are appealing to all levels of government to provide much-needed social amenities in their communities to improve their quality of life. Predominantly farmers, these residents emphasize that access to potable water and good roads would significantly enhance their daily lives and boost their farming activities. With improved structure, they believe they could contribute more effectively to the state's agricultural output while enjoying a better standard of living. Their message is simple: basic amenities are not a luxury, but a necessity. Hamido Yegbari files in this report.
In Igbotele village, located in Oduotin local government area of Osun State, farming is the sole occupation of the residents. These farmers play a vital role in the state's food supply, with their massive produce making its way from the village to urban centers, contributing significantly to food security across the state. However, despite their importance to the local economy, the village is deprived of essential social amenities. The lack of potable water and good roads makes life challenging for the villagers, hindering their ability to thrive and sustain their contribution to the state's agricultural output. Their call for improved infrastructure is urgent and necessary for their well-being and continued prosperity of the region.
There is one stream at the before the place is far, so that place is very far for us. It will up to like maybe 10 kilometers from here. So the one that is more nearer to this place is, even the road is very difficult to get there. So some people are bathing there, some people are washing some necessities in the stream. So, and this same water is the one we are fetching to cook, to drink, for many other domestic purposes.
Sometimes we go to very far place to fetch water, and sometimes there might be not enough water in the stream. We have to pile our clothes until the water is enough for us to wash. Sometimes the water might not be clean. We have, even though if you want to use the water to bath, we have to boil it and let it cool down.
It took the intervention of the Osun State Community and Social Development Agency to bring some relief to Igbotele village by constructing a borehole to tackle the persistent water scarcity in the village. This long-awaited project has been a lifeline for the villagers who have struggled for years without access to potable water. The borehole now provides much-needed water for daily use, offering a glimpse of hope in a community still yearning for more comprehensive development and infrastructure.
It really helps us, because formerly we used to go to the river to go and fetch water. It takes a lot of times, a lot of challenges that we are facing going to the river in time of jams or something like that. But now since we have this water, really enjoying it, it makes us have rest of mind in terms of drinking water.
The villagers of Igbotele are calling on governments to provide additional support to encourage farmers to stay in the village and continue their farming activities. While the recent borehole has alleviated some of their struggles, they stress the need for further investment in infrastructure and social amenities. With better resources, they believe more farmers will stay in the village, ensuring that their crucial contributions to the state's food security can continue uninterrupted. Amid Oyegbade, reporting for Trust TV.
Governor Ahmadu Umaru Fintiri of Adamawa State has approved the payment of 70,000 naira national minimum wage to workers on the state and local government payrolls. The state chairman of Nigeria Labour Congress, Emmanuel Fashe, revealed in an interview with newsmen shortly after a closed-door meeting with Governor Umaru Fintiri. He said the state government workers will start receiving their salaries with the new minimum wage from August 2024, while their counterparts at the local government level will benefit from September.
The new national minimum wage of 70,000 will be implemented to the workers of Adamawa State, both at the state and the local government level. And the template to be used is the consequential adjustment table that was used in 2019. What it translates into is that whatever that the worker was getting as present national minimum wage, or the previous national minimum of 32,000 as it applies to Adamawa State, that same will be applied in terms of percentages in implementing the minimum wage for workers of Adamawa State. And he has given directives for the Accountant General's office now to work on this salary so that it can be implemented to workers of this Adamawa State, more especially those that are on the payroll of the state government this month of August. The proviso is that we are implementing this minimum wage because His Excellency doesn't want his workers to be waiting in perpetuity, waiting for the template to come from National Salaries, Income and Wages Commission. The proviso is that whenever that table comes, and of course I want to believe that it will only be a little adjustment that may take place between that table and that of Adamawa State, believing that His Excellency is usually magnanimous in dealing with workers' issue.
We'll take it away from Nigeria now. Kenyan government has planned to raise about $1.2 billion by reinstating some unpopular taxes contained in a finance bill that was scrapped in the face of deadly street protests. A government minister said President William Ruto had warned of a funding shortfall after he decided in June to drop the controversial tax hikes after a bloody day in Nairobi that saw the storming of parliament and police firing live bullets on demonstrators. Finance Minister John Badi said on Sunday that the government was considering about 49 tax measures to try to raise roughly 150 billion shillings, an equivalent of $1.2 billion. And in sports, Plateau United have concluded plans to unveil their new players ahead of the 2024-2025 Nigeria Premier Football League season. The unveiling ceremony was initially scheduled to take place earlier in the month, but was rescheduled due to the nationwide protest. It will be held on Tuesday, August 20, 2024 at the new Jar Stadium. And that concludes the news update on Trust Television at this hour. Do not forget, you can always follow us across all of our social media platforms and also join our YouTube live stream for more news, programs and documentaries. I'm Aisha Salihu. Thanks for watching. Join us again.